Let's consider the topics that brain-based professional development tackle. First of all, we consider the question, how are they smart, which differs from the question, how smart are they? And you'll see this as we look at the topics covered with brain-based tasks. During the very interactive PD sessions, then, we'll build materials together, design innovative tasks that support your particular lessons. You can find my work as an example of the kind of materials. I have about 250 materials here that go along with books I've published with Pearson and my work published with Wiley and other materials, the kind of things that we will build together during professional development. This is a team effort, and it's exciting because it works better that way. In brain-based professional development, we really work together to help teens soar based on their brain's unique capabilities. We can have them share standards at a higher level when they go at their own unique methodology or approach. We know, of course, that the students retain 95% more if they are active in how they learn. And two-footed questions allow that activity to begin to stir in the high school classroom, even the university classroom, the middle school classroom, and upper elementary for sure. We ask two-footed questions so that the left foot probes deep into the content, while the right foot grabs the interest and abilities of students. So for example, instead of saying what's aerodynamics, you might ask with a two-footed question, how did the kite that your team created demonstrate aerodynamics? PD helps us to integrate new discoveries in neuroscience with psychology and what we really know about good teaching so that students thrive in relaxed, caring, but challenging settings without stress. And these particulars come and we build materials specifically for these kind of critical thinking tools and growth mindset possibilities. We develop, for example, a tone that students come to really enjoy differing one from another in ways that build goodwill across all who differ from them, using the particular tone skills that brain-based tasks build. Another PD session might be to tackle interactive tasks that go across both sides of the student brain, using your lesson topics as possibilities for them to think about and discover and even create and help create their own materials to deal with content, interests, and their entire brain, much of which gets left behind in some classes. In order to do that and to respond to our two-footed questions, then, we often use tasks that come from multiple intelligences. These tasks allow the students to come at our topic, regardless of what it is, with their strengths. The question may come up for you as to how then can we grade these fairly? And of course, that's another PD session where we see how to do so. In PD, we gather diverse insights through interesting questions, such as, how would you teach this topic in a book you create perhaps and read to a younger learner? That might be one of the questions. That's a linguistic intelligence that students would activate and awaken to do that question. You will be introduced in another PD session to 6 fun fictional characters with real brain parts. Real parts of their brain that your students and you bring to every class, many of which we are unaware of and therefore can trip us up or certainly fail to benefit us in the way they could. For example, you have a WM or a working memory which allows you to learn that day, and you also have a basal ganglia which holds you back and prevents you from wanting or desiring or willing to tackle any change at all. So we learn how those work and how to have them work with us through these fun characters that students and even faculty enjoy. Even my university faculty ask me to be sure and bring the namungos when I come to give a conference. I just gave a conference at the University of Minnesota on play's place in the human brain and for university students and high school students, and we had a lot of fun with these namungos. Brain topics, however, include many different sessions. At the MITA International Brain Center, we take on neural-related education as it acknowledges the fact that brains are designed with different ways of dealing with any kind of information. And so a brain-based PD is simply about coming together to find new ways into brains that don't respond to cookie-cutter curriculum. Many teachers and students in upper grades wonder how to engage parents. How do parents of teens love to come to class, and what would bring them? We do a whole session on that topic, and we've had exciting responses from parents, even university parents of our students, come to class through a celebration of innovation that's student-led. Brain-based tasks connect the content in your lesson to students' interests and capabilities in unique ways, where students create maybe a personal timeline, or they connect to the music they're going to be playing in a band after school, or they walk along a canal and wonder about something in their lesson that you triggered or that they triggered during a class. Inquiries we make spark exchanges between novices and experts. One of the favorite activities for our students becomes the opportunity we set up in classes for novice and experts to come together and to teach one another in dynamic ways. If you haven't done a great deal of brain-based tasks, you may be asking, how do these active tasks meet higher learning standards? Yes, there's PD session on that particular topic, and we show how not only do they meet the standards, but they surpass the standards in most every instance. And that's been proven in 20 countries that we work in. When students bring their culture and when we bring the diversity across the many nations and areas that we work into the work, which we have done with the MITA brain-based approaches, we have input from the Caribbean, and we worked in Ireland and helped transform whole departments in WIT, which is the MIT of Europe, and in China, in Chongqing on the Yangtze, and in Igloolik up in northern Baffin Island, and in many other parts of the world. We have brought together student reflections from their cultures in order to inform what we do in these PD sessions. That's probably why they work. You learn in the PD sessions for brain-based thinking how mirror neurons, which students bring to class, raise the bar for excellence when you create the right learning settings for mirror neurons to work. And as you may know, those are the opportunities built into the physiology of the human brain for students to mimic one another. One of the parts in brain-based tasks that students enjoy most is their opportunity to apply the innovations well beyond our class. So here you see a variety of cultures doing the materials, learning the brain-based tasks, and then applying these into authentic evidence-building outcomes beyond their lesson in class. We show students how to teach younger siblings, and we model what that looks like, knowing that their retention is far higher when they teach at the same time they're learning. brain-based teaching and learning and assessment at the MITA International Brain Center almost always ends or results in multiple intelligence filters which allow ideas to be differently learned and displayed. Students enjoy this student-led opportunity to use and display their multiple intelligences for topics that they'll be tested on. Here, students use digital videos to apply the brain facts that they had learned. We found it amazing that students gathered peers from other departments to help critique their digital videos before these were passed in, before they were presented to a wider learning community. The PD sessions deal with the pneumongos related to your amygdala. That, of course, is the seat of your emotions. And a tamed amygdala is a learning setting to be desired by any student. An untamed amygdala is an opportunity and a challenge to learn how to tame the amygdala so that students will be able to learn in a much higher capacity. Student choice is a large part of brain-based thinking, assessment, and learning. And students are guided through choices that they make and therefore are highly invested in from the start. Students enjoy the rewards that brain-based learning and outcomes bring. The MITA Center has received rewards all over the world. In this case, we were presented with awards for higher motivation and achievement proven that were called Honor and Responsibility, written in Chinese across the trophies that were presented for the work that really the students had done. And we happen to have the privilege of reflecting on their growth possibilities. All of the tasks that we do in brain-based professional development settings relate to larger texts that were published by Pearson Publications, by Wiley Press, and these tasks are student-ready, no-prep materials, ready for your class on any topic you teach. And they happen to be at my TPT site, which is named here in an earlier slide. In this particular case, we're talking about assessment. How can we really know what they know? And that's based on a book on assessment and published originally by Pearson. What an honor it would be to work with you and to find ways to help benefit you and your students by building materials together to support your excellent lessons and goals and future plans for any topic you teach. Please do contact me at the MITA Brain Center. My email is here, eweber1@frontiernet.net. And in other areas earlier on in the slide, you can pause the slide to find my websites, my published materials. And I hope we have the opportunity to work with you and to support the work you're already doing with neural discoveries that I think you will enjoy, and I know your students will.